Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Masks Monday and a lovely display of different lighting things, especially me. For some reason, I'm blue today. But anyway, this is session 33, I believe. Session 33 of Masks of Nyarlathotep. And we're going to go around and introduce the characters as per usual, as we left on a rather nice cliffhanger. And Steve, it is indeed Insanity and Death, Masks Monday. Let's go to Pranit, Singh, Dillon first, if you please. And I actually got the pointing right.
Yeah, first time in forever. You actually did. You always complain that you missed the pointing part. So kudos to that. My name is Pranit Singh Dillon. I'm a former soldier, now fire extinguisher, because with the help of Charles, we're able to put out a couple of flying fiery orbs. Hello, Steve. Thank you for
Hello,
joining
Steve.
us, as always, mate. And I do believe that shit is about to go and hit the fan, but now we got another member of the party that will hopefully make our life easier without insulting us every waking moment.
We'll get to her in a moment. And then we have Charles Barrington-Smythe. Damn it. Too good to be true.
Almost got there.
It's a mirror thing. I don't know what it is. I can't do mirror stuff very well.
I will not sort of make any disparaging comments, of course. It was nice knowing you, Pranit. But yes, I'm Charles Barrington-Smythe, and as well as extinguishing great balls of fire, I'm sort of the comic relief of the group. Not that they're getting much relief from my comedy, but I'm trying to charm everyone whilst they're shooting at things.
And oh, for fuck's sake! And Perry.
Nearly. Perry Astor, Canadian explorer, and quite a bit injured at the moment. So
Yep, you're in a wheelchair.
Don't expect too much action from Perry tonight.
That's going to be a bit irritating for your character's personality, actually, come to think of it. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then we have our newest member of the party, Miss Jones.
Oh, hello. Am I on? Hello. My name is Annie Jones. I'm from London. I work for the Penhew Foundation. And recently I discovered that some members of the foundation are evil cultists. And I've been learning about that, investigating, when I bumped into this lot. Let me tell you about last week, as I'm sure I'm about to be asked to recap because it's apparently my turn.
Indeed.
So, the session began in a hospital, and the players didn't want to go anywhere, but that was lucky because actually a journalist came to them, Natalie Smythe Forbes, an experienced journalist who met the Carlyle Expedition back in the day. She works for the Nairobi Star. Anyway, then the players really didn't want to go anywhere, so they started calling NPCs to them. Now, this is relevant because it made sure that my character couldn't be introduced for as long as they stayed in one spot. So they had a conversation with this Roger Corridon, who's the British Colonial Office guy. Anyway, it really did lead to nothing because he wouldn't say a thing and he was clearly withholding information. They didn't manage to sort of press him at all because they didn't have anyone competent there. So anyway, they then steadfastly refused to leave the hospital and were trying to find somebody else that they could get to come to the hospital to ensure that I couldn't take part in the game. There was, I believe, Pranit had possibly gone to Roger Corridon's office, but to be honest, by that point, had fallen asleep and wasn't paying attention. And then Pranit discovered me speaking to Neville Jermyn. And of course, I was introduced in a very skullduggery way to spook the players. They thought I was an NPC at first. I even made one of those NPC picture things just to really freak them out, especially with the whole Penhew Foundation link. Anyway, joke's on them, because it turns out I'm a new investigator. And so we went back to the bloody hospital so that Perry could get a wheelchair, because apparently killing teammates involves him needing a wheelchair for mental instability. Anyway, then we had lunch, apparently in a park. I must have still been asleep. And then there was this whole thing about Charles having to get clothes for Perry from a hotel. I don't know why you needed clothes at that point. I mean, we were already in a park. So then we actually went somewhere and did something. So I woke up and they went to the Nairobi Star to ask Natalie Smythe Forbes about the expedition, the one we've been investigating all these months. And whilst there, they proceeded to pontificate largely, whilst I discovered that in the picture, Sir Aubrey looked rather too young. And also, Hypatia, to me, she looked pregnant, and I did wonder if the offspring would even be human. Possibly Sir Aubrey's, I wonder. Anyway, there was no sign of Roger Carlyle or the Brady guy who is a potential ally. There were no sign of either of those in the photograph. And then the session ended with this crazy colonel blowing a hole through the wall of the Nairobi Star with an elephant gun whilst complaining about a scandal, which is something we must press him on.
But before you attempt to do that, don't forget to roll your improvement for luck, everybody. And also, Annie, of course, you get another D8.
Oh, do I? Fantastic.
You're muted, Ronnie.
I did roll my improvement for luck.
Ooh.
I
Right.
didn't.
I did too, for fuck's sake.
For possibly the only time this session I rolled under my luck.
It
Well,
worked for me.
Thanks to
Bastard.
the D8, I now have 82.
82 luck, Jesus Christ.
Good
What happened
times.
to you last week as well, Ronnie?
82.
I did really well last week. I rolled
Okay.
above and got more luck. It was great, but
Okay.
this week
Right.
the dice are not my friends.
Annie, what's your sanity at the moment?
That is a healthy 58.
58. Okay.
Dribble, dribble, dribble.
And then 82 luck for you. Perry, you're on 96, I believe, because nobody lost anything last week.
Not 90 luck. Sorry, 90 sanity.
Oh, 90 sanity, okay.
Yeah.
And 2 hit points. And how much luck now?
26.
Ooh, 26. Pranit, are you on 83 sanity?
Yes, indeed. And I'm now at 11 luck.
11. Okay, you've got a little tiny bit back. And Charles, you're on 48 sanity.
Yeah,
are you
and
not? Yes?
37 luck.
And 37. Okay, and I believe we're still on Friday, aren't we? We haven't gone to
Yeah.
Saturday yet. It's sort of...
No, it's still
okay.
Friday the 20th.
Okay, so I'll say it's coming up to about 3:30, something like that. But yes, indeed, this colonel has marched his way in, and I can't remember if I told you what he looked like last week, but just to sort of recap, I do remember saying that he was a bit like Charles's friend Reggie, but ramped up to 11. He's big in both directions, lots of red hair. He has this very big elephant gun, which he obviously holds with pride. And he's just incredibly loud. He begins complaining specifically to Natalie. Maybe he thinks that you're all staff members, perhaps, about how she is scandalizing his business, etc., etc. And she's not really pacifying him, but also she's not aggravating him either. She starts saying, well, you know, if you actually look at what really happened, Colonel, then why shouldn't I print it? And he goes, well, look, it's not dangerous at all at my lodge, and you know bloody well it's not. We're all the way out in the woods of Africa. Of course there's going to be the odd death now and then. There are beasts out there if people aren't careful. Oh, beasts, a rogue lion, that seems a little odd to you, doesn't it? Maybe it's the actual lodge itself that's causing a problem. Oh, poppycock! Anyway, you stole away my final customers for the season. It's a bloody nightmare with you and your newspaper causing all these problems for my business. It was on its last legs already, and I finally got some customers, and now you scare them away with your newspaper again. And as for the rest of you, you're not helping.
Well, no.
So, Mrs. Smythe, what are you going to do about all this?
Well, we're
practically nothing. I am reporting the truth, Colonel.
We're not staff here.
Yes, you've rather barged in on a private interview.
Charles, can you give me a credit rating roll, please? Hello,
Yes.
Ryabin. You back?
Yes.
Okay. You think he notices that, you know, your American accent, as it were, but also he seems to be looking at Charles as well and how he's dressed. And you think maybe there are dollar signs or pound signs flashing in his eyes. Oh, well, my mistake. But even so, you shouldn't trust that woman. She can be quite a handful, and messing around with my business.
And what business? Oh, sorry, Becky, you've been muted though.
Oops.
Go on.
I didn't see what you were saying.
Why? What did you? I'm sorry. Why? What did she do?
Well, she's causing all this stir about my business. It's
What
quite
stir?
simple. Well, she's done several reports about people dying and from these so-called rogue lions, and this is just all poppycock and bull.
So
a load of bull.
Nobody died then, are you saying?
No, I'm not saying that at all. I am saying that occasionally, when people are a little careless out in the wilds and they don't treat the land as they should, then unfortunately, yes, accidents happen.
So
I'm sorry. This lady reported that it was a rogue lion.
Yeah, that's what she calls it anyway. I don't know what on earth she's talking about. There's really nothing to worry about.
You do understand that the terminology is important, sir. Rogue lion indicates merely a lion that was wandering in the area. What was she supposed to write? That the lion was there by design?
Well, nothing at all, because honestly, it's all a load of rubbish. There were a few instances where people just weren't paying attention to the boundaries, they weren't staying up in the viewing spot, and I think they may have left some food there as well, which didn't help at all. And
I'm sorry. This might be the sobriety talking, but I'm not quite grasping your meaning. This is a newspaper reporter. Now, if there are deaths that have happened as a result of a wild animal, that needs to be reported. If you are saying that these deaths were self-inflicted, then you are claiming suicide. Now, I'm sure a reporter.
No.
I'm sure a reporter would want to report upon those.
It's suicide. Where on earth are you going with this, man? No, not at all. Have you never been here before? Have you never done any hunting? I thought the likes of you would, sir.
Well, I have done hunting, sir, but mostly it involved Scotch and some rather nice fillies.
Well, I do have plenty of that, I suppose. But it is like if you go anywhere dangerous, there are risks, and sometimes people are too careless of such risks. And she is making some mountain out of a molehill here. Perry, give psychology a tick. as you're
Okay.
kind of watching all this play out, it is very obvious that the colonel is kind of floundering, and you think, okay, yes, maybe it was just kind of down to unfortunate accidents, but he's kind of he's on his like a very kind of thin thread with it. But also looking at Natalie, you definitely think that she thinks there's more to it than a rogue lion, but maybe that was all she was allowed to print or kind of obligated to print.
Yeah, of course. I have experience of remote places myself, and you do have to be extremely careful.
Well,
Anything goes
exactly.
wrong-
Yes, you
anything
look
goes
like
wrong, you're too far away from help.
you look like an explorer of sorts. What, a prairie man are you?
Yeah, I was in my youth, but I spent a lot of time in South America.
Oh, South America. My God.
Don't
Well,
have, don't have the big cats you have over here, just jaguars and things. but
no,
not
no,
quite
no.
so big.
Although, if the big cats don't watch it, they'll all be gone at this rate. And he kind of makes a point of brandishing his gun again. He's propping it up almost like a big sort of standard.
You seem to like your weapon very much.
Oh, of course, Mrs. Carruthers and I, we are never apart. Absolutely not.
Mrs. Carruthers?
Yes.
Who would Mr. Carruthers be?
Well, I suppose me in some way or another.
I really don't know how to respond to that comment.
Well, look, you're like I said, this woman is being incredibly over the top over something rather frivolous, and really, it's in such a beautiful place, and many good times there have had, and why don't you come sometime? Actually, since you're so interested in my business.
Oh, from what you're saying, I take it it's some sort of hunting lodge.
What, the big gun didn't give it away? Of course, it's a bloody hunting lodge.
Well, you have
The best in the savannah. Thank you very much.
You have to be careful in Africa when you're traveling. So if you've travelled up from remote places.
Ah, well, that's the beauty of it. It feels incredibly remote, but it's only about 100 miles out of Nairobi. Not long to get there at all.
Would that be 100 miles south of our present position?
Southwest, I suppose. Yeah, southwest.
Southwest. Okay.
And how would we get to your lodge if we came?
I have cars.
Excellent.
You see, Natalie, it's the call to the wild that these people want.
Oh, some quiet time for a rest and recuperation will be ideal for me at the moment, I think.
And Natalie kind of sighs a bit and says, "And are you going to pay for this hole as well, Colonel?" Yes, I'll take care of. Yes, yes, I will sort that out before I leave. But you better have a very good think about your writings and your journalism. I could easily buy you out, you know. And she kind of looks unconvinced and does a little sly grin. She turns back to you and says, I do apologize for him. He does this every so often, more so than before. And he's obviously definitely losing customers, but I must report the truth, as you know.
Yes. So a rogue lion, you say? Was that what you're saying was the cause of these unfortunate accidents, as he regards them?
Who are you asking that of?
The reporter herself.
Well, from what I know and from various people I have interviewed, there have been various incidences of wild beasts attacking guests. See, this is the sort of thing I mean. You're making it out as if there's some horror magazine or film or something. It's ridiculous. They probably wandered away from the lodge, got lost, the silly beggars.
So you're saying animals didn't attack them, sir?
It's about context. Of course, the animals were the ones responsible for the injuries. It's just that it's not the symptoms.
Exactly what would you like the lady to write? Either she says animals
A
attack,
shining
yes.
review, for one thing, to make up for all the business she's lost me. Maybe some compensation at that.
So, again, this could be the sobriety talking, but could I have an idea of the review? Something along the lines of, "This is a wonderful place to get killed by local animals if you step outside the grounds." I'm not sure that's going to have quite the ring you were hoping for.
Oh dear, maybe I should wrap up the business altogether since you're such experts at the field. Unless you do want to come.
not that. No, I just I know a big elephant gun when I see one.
Well, perhaps
Yes,
if we
yes.
visit, we could do a review for you.
What sort of review?
Well, it probably depend on the visit. Wouldn't it?
Well, in any case, I need to pay for this lady's wall, so I bid you good day for now. But if you're still interested, although you seem rather mixed at the moment,
do
I will
you
be
have a
here for an
card
hour.
or some way of contacting you?
Of course, I have a card, and he reaches into his shirt and gets one out.
Thank you very much, Colonel.
Yes,
Thank you.
I am indeed.
Most helpful of you. Thank you very, very much.
And he sort of almost kind of waddles out. He's trying to kind of hold his belly in a bit as he comes out, and he's kind of puffing his chest up. And he's sort of mumbling to himself, and then tries to kind of glance through the wall just for a brief second in the hole in the wall.
I do wonder if that man's loud voice may be due to the fact of his increasing deafness due to the use of that large infernal bloody rifle. It makes quite a racket, as I'm led to believe.
Mrs. Smythe Forbes, you seem to be
Yes.
a little bit. You seem to have a little bit more information about the animal attack.
Yes. I wasn't sure if you wanted to stay any longer after that interruption. Again, I do apologize. He is, as you can see, a rather huge handful. But I do have some articles if you want to have a look. But at the top of my head, yes. There's been a good 10, 12 deaths I can count over the past few years. Mostly English, a couple American.
And it's only been reported in the Nairobi Times, is it? It's not gone wider.
Star.
Sorry.
Well, not for now, although at this rate it may well do. Especially all the noise he's making. What he doesn't realize is he's part of the problem he's causing.
Just so that I have this clear in my head, are you saying that all the victims of these attacks were his guests?
Mostly, some were, I think, sort of servants, employees of the guests. But he really likes to go for the rich people.
But none of the. I guess what I'm asking is none of the natives.
No, but judging from how much noise he makes, I imagine they prefer to stay away. There is a tribe, rumors of a tribe there called the Boyoiva. Although that is a rumor, they are supposedly evil in nature. But I'm not really sure how plausible that is.
I immediately I take another sip out the hip flask, and I'm like, is it just me or are these animals' attacks? They seem to be very picky. They seem to be going for a particular diet.
Well, that tribe, for one thing, it supposedly has been wiped out for a long time. Locals, I don't know of any deaths. If I did, I would, due to demographic, I might not report them as extensively. However, I do still take them into account. And no, it appears to be all guests. Yes.
It seems to me, I mean, from what I understand, a rogue lion is a lion that's
Well,
hunts by itself until it can take over a pride of its own. It's a bit unusual for one to be a loner for so long.
How do we know it's a lion attack? Are the bodies mutilated in some way?
the ones that we found were partially eaten, so it is possibly a large creature of sorts. However, something I noticed on my latest report. Yes, there were sort of partially eaten. How do I say this gently? Portions of the corpse, but there were also much smaller bites, possibly from vermin, but it did seem a little odd to me.
Something feasting on the corpse afterwards, do you think? Or
Possibly, although I didn't get any autopsies performed.
Maybe hyenas came after the lion finished.
Or
Possible.
when
Yes,
you say
it's possible.
smaller, you mean maybe human more sized?
No, more vermin sized, very sort of small gnawing marks. Could you take idea rolls, please?
When you said vermin, you threw me out of the way, because in Italian, vermin, it's worm. So I couldn't figure out how a worm would bite something.
Warm
and then I
bites,
remember, what the fuck? Idea roll, you said.
I passed.
I hard passed.
Ooh,
I passed.
okay.
I have 80% in idea, and I didn't.
No. Okay. She mentions she thinks that the
surprise is
deaths
getting to me.
started since sort of 1919 onwards, and the three of you also remember that the Carlyle Expedition was here in 1919, and they also stayed with the Colonel for several days before heading north.
Yes, I was already thinking it was a Cthulhu thingy.
Maybe I didn't hear it, so I'm asking out of character. When were the last corpses found?
It was never mentioned. The last corpse as well, fairly recently, possibly a bit before your friend Mr. Elias arrived. Yes, about July, start of August. And it's from what I gather, because nothing recent has been published about these since then. Perhaps the Colonel had a past issue lying around, and perhaps that's how his guests found out, because I certainly never met any of them.
And just as we're having a bit of calm here, I'm just going to say hello, Stephen. Hello, Fajuk. Hello, Ryaban. And hello, Lee. And thank you very much for
Hello,
the
Lee.
Yes.
Nice to see you again.
Well, given the fact that the colonel came here shooting around like it is the far west, I assumed the news were a little bit fresher for him to react this way.
He is quite an unpredictable man. Sometimes he bottles up his anger, and other times it comes out all guns blazing, as it were. Again, I never really noticed any guests, but it may well be that these guests were very recent.
Right. Then I assume we should have a look at the lodge.
Well, it's up to you, but outside of the profession for a moment, please at least be careful. It does sound rather dangerous, even for a savannah.
Oh, trust me. We pride ourselves on our safety, especially recently.
Was that pun intended, Mr. Barrington-Smythe?
No. But it does bring up I assume lion was just the first thing you thought of?
Yes and no. The most plausible thing that people here would find a valid explanation. I honestly don't know. It is a little strange, as you said, how selective possibly the creature attacking is.
Well, yes,
I've heard
the creature does seem to enjoy, shall we say, fine white meat.
What did you mean when you said this tribe was evil?
Yes, they were an historic tribe. I honestly don't even know if they existed at all, or if it is a legend. But I've heard the name Voiva tossed around a little amongst the hunting community. But supposedly they come from the area very close to where this lodge is.
Does that name mean anything in Kikuyu?
I'm afraid I don't know the answer, but what I'll say is it is Kikuyu. Yes, it is a Kikuyu word.
So a legendary evil tribe, white people being eaten by beasts, large and small.
Can we see some reports about the bodies that were found, if you don't mind?
Oh yes, certainly. And
I'm just wondering if they were found in the same sort of condition as the Carlyle bodies.
Okay, yeah, so you have a good look. And again, the answer is sort of yes and no. But you think definitely in terms of the Carlyle Expedition, that was very much dressed up of, oh yes, it was wild animals possibly, and things like that. But the Carlyle bodies were very mutilated, ripped to shreds, but in a kind of strange, organized way. Not necessarily that a regular beast would do, whereas these bodies are very much kind of like a chunk taken off here, a bit of the spleen there, things like that. So they're not really any more linked than that.
This is something I don't recall. How far was the lodge from the mountain?
Oh, you mean the Aberdare forest and up there?
Yeah.
Oh, well, by car to the lodge, it's about 4 hours drive. If you're going at a top speed, say of 25 miles an hour. Up there, up to Aberdare, that is several days' walk, and there's no roads or rail or anything.
All right.
Can I just ask, given my extensive knowledge of all things Biyaki,
Yes.
does the wound sound like it could be a creature Well, could it be Biarki or a similar kind of creature?
As in these ones by the lodge.
Yeah, do they sound Biarki related? Because I, as you know, my character does know a little about them.
Yes. No, they're not. However, you're theorizing maybe it could be something other than a regular beast or even a rogue lion. However, it doesn't sound like a Biarki did this.
Okay.
So that's 1 out of a possible bazillion.
Yes, nonetheless, I
Monsters in the middle.
I hold the little feather that's sticking out of my blouse and I just sort of tuck it back inside.
Well, again, I apologize for his rude entry, but I hope you found this helpful. I'm afraid it is getting near closing time. So unless there's anything else you need from me, I'm going to start packing up.
Oh, you've been very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Most gracious.
Yes.
Oh, well, absolutely. I do my best. I am open tomorrow, not on Sunday, but most places here aren't open Sunday. So if you do need anything else from me, you know where I am.
Again, thank you very much for your availability and kindness.
That's quite all right, sir. And yeah, she starts, like you can see her secretary is pretty much like packed up and ready to go, and she starts turning lights off and things like that as you head out. You do hear her groaning at the wall, but you do see the colonel. He starts coming out and starts brandishing some big white notes at her. Well, yes, as promised. Yes, there you go. And just for a minute, he kind of leans in a bit closer to her and whispers something. She sort of shrugs a little bit, and then he starts heading out to his car, which is just kind of up the road a little bit. And he starts getting in.
I think we should go for a little hunting trip.
Yeah, same. Even though I'm struggling to find a link with our current object of inquiry.
No, these deaths started when the Carlyle Expedition were at the lodge.
Yeah, right.
And seeing if we retrace their steps this far.
Maybe we
A
can
mysterious,
even ask the
evil
colonel
tribe.
about them. We could even ask the colonel about the Carlyles if something happened while they were staying there.
Just to remind you, on Sunday you've got Constantina's funeral.
Right.
Go
Yeah.
after the funeral.
Yeah, tomorrow is Saturday. We can hopefully.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
We could hopefully do everything in the day.
All the other leads.
No, I mean the lodge one.
No, the lodge is 150 miles away.
Well,
We're not going back.
it's
We're
a
not
4-hour
going down
drive.
there and back in time for Sunday for the funeral.
Then we might as well look for some intel about the general area where we're going. Maybe read the articles that were mentioned, both by the colonel and Miss Smythe Forbes, was it?
Yeah.
Yep. You also, again, just kind of as a suggestion, because this was on your mind, you wanted to go and see the captain at Fort Smith at some point.
Yes, we did.
That too.
Yeah, we can do the funeral on the Sunday. We could travel down to that lodge after the funeral.
Yeah, given Fort Smith is close to the city center, we might do that tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
If that opens up to any other leads, we got another half a day to do that.
Yeah, because I reckon if we go down to the lodge, do a couple of days there, even a day or so, round trip, a couple of days round trip. It means we'll be back in time for Wednesday for that
Chess game.
that chess game.
True. However, again, a reminder: the new moon is on Tuesday.
Yeah, we don't know what's supposed to happen though.
But if it is a cult, they usually tend to sacrifice on a new moon, don't they? So
They
it could be
do. They do tend to. They like the new moon. They like to be able to do things under without the wonderful moonlight radiating down upon them.
Yeah, so we could be a fight that night if we're still there.
Put it in your diary. Fight on Tuesday.
Fight Tuesday night.
But
We
actually,
should
yes,
even.
go on.
Sorry.
No,
No.
you go first.
I mean, probably the sacrifice, if and when will that happen, will be centered around the Black Wind God. That's way up north.
But if they've got this evil, I was just thinking about this evil tribe.
Yeah, that too. We also know where technically this evil god resides, which is way up north. We won't be making it in time. I mean, we can dedicate tomorrow to find other leads at Fort Smith, for example, and so on. Then Sunday, the funeral, as soon as it is over, we leave for the lodge.
Agreed.
And try to find other intel about this evil tribe and the Carlyle Expedition, and hopefully would be in the right place at the right time.
Do we know after the stay at the lodge, did they come back to Nairobi? Do we know that, or did they go missing
the
from the
expedition.
lodge?
They left.
Yeah, you think if they did, then they only stayed for a little bit, maybe getting last minute supplies. They didn't seem to stay there again. They left quite quickly, you think?
Not surprised. There's all kinds of wild animals roaming around there.
Long enough to make contact with the evil tribe and then head off. I wonder if they took something. There was the whole thing about the capstone on the pyramid, wasn't it there? What was that again? With the Carlyle and the...
There was, yes. They moved the stone from one pyramid to another, did they?
No, we had one bit of it and we needed to find...
The other bit.
Yes,
other
Roger
bit.
Carlyle went to the top of the Red Pyramid, broke off part of this eye symbol thing, which then ended up in the hands of that wise woman. You don't know where the other half is or what it's for, but you think that that the Red Pyramid was trying to keep the Black Pharaoh in, like a protection.
So we need to find the other part of that and reassemble it.
Kinda.
Back.
Yeah, I think we can still assume that went with the Carlyle Expedition. So it's probably
just throwing a thought out. Just throwing a thought out, and I throw this out just as a possible scenario. It could be that yes, they went on that. They went on that the expedition. They went on to the lodge to make contact with this tribe. Could it be that maybe that wasn't the intention, but then they ran into them and something happened and they
were looking for them, surely.
Yeah.
Are they looking for them? I just thought then was Ronnie was. Were they looking? Did they look for them for guides to the Black Mountain?
You
That
know
could
that German mainly kind of sorted out things like guides and stuff.
It would have been something along the lines, because they met the Black Pharaoh. The Black Pharaoh would have told them to go meet his people and collect something to do some evil, nefarious task. But we don't know what that would be yet until we speak to these people and learn a little about them. Which I rather suspect will do so whilst on a spit roast over their fireplace. But
I was going to say that I'm quite prepared to accept the very real possibility that running into these people and asking them questions might not go well for us. Partially.
Well, yes, it's a tribe, so we outnumber.
Assuming they actually speak English.
Well, I do speak a little bit of Kikuyu. Not much, it's just a spattering, but I've dealt with so many Kikuyu artifacts from the Penyu Foundation. I have actually picked some up now.
Well,
trying to learn it.
You can obviously be the translator. However, if they happen to say anything along the lines of right, we'll cook him first, give us plenty of notice because we're going to run.
Oh, I'll be running to get a head start. In the hopes that they catch you.
Possibly the sanest thing that's been said.
Brackets, I tried building a combat character and Perry smothered her.
However, I do have a question for you. You've got a fairly sort of solid plan in place the next couple of days, but what are you planning to do tonight, if anything, or this evening?
Well, are there any other leads close by? Have we missed anything?
Have you been to this nice little tea room? This tea shop?
I have not been to the evil cultist tea shop.
I just wonder if maybe you might see something that...
It's under the floorboards. We've not investigated that. Perhaps we should.
That would require the lady to be out.
You're talking about breaking in now.
Well, it might be an idea to do that before the big sacrifice end of the world stuff that's going to happen on, when was it, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Well, as
we can kill all the cultists and sit round having some nice cups of Darjeeling as the bodies of the nefarious burn.
Yes, we can even play chess.
As for taking the woman out, I can ask her out. She looked like interested in me, so I may use that at our advantage. I take her out, you break in.
Is she the only person?
I would say keep it very light.
Yeah, professional. I'm not going to. What did you say last time? Was it tonsil tennis? Tonsil tennis.
No, not tonsil tennis. I never went near tonsil tennis.
You said that.
What you said. I have it.
I believe that was you said. No, I'm going to take.
I said I wasn't actually offering you for tonsil tennis.
I'm going to be professional, Charles.
He's from the people that made the Kama Sutra. I think he knows what he's doing.
Well, I was more going to suggest that the lady did invite him to play her at chess. I just thought that he could use that as his way in. Invite her to the hotel, at the bar, chessboard out, play a few games of chess.
Just let me do the hooking up thing. Be professional. Yeah, bring her back to your hotel. No.
It seems Steve's memory is a bit too good.
Yes, yes.
I have no, I do not recall ever using that phrase. I'm not saying I didn't. I just don't recall it. I have plausible deniability.
Yeah, we can try and do that though, to see if you manage to get in the shop. I'll try to keep her out of the way as long as necessary.
Yeah.
Keep her out of the way.
What did the shop look like? Is it got like is it just a shop, or is there some sort of like
As
It's
far as
it-
we've seen, there's basically an hall for everybody to look for samples, etc. And then there's a back room where she
Yeah.
invited us for tasting, actually, an actual tea room. We managed to see another, I believe, 1 or 2 rooms, maybe more for one room
One,
for
yeah.
maybe administration, like more of an office, we imagined. But the loose board was in the tea room.
So she doesn't live there as well, then. So
As far as we know, no, she doesn't. But if I recall correctly, we mentioned, Charles and I, that we just arrived and were planning on staying for some days. So instead of dancing in whichever direction or playing tennis with God knows what, I may just ask her to show me around so that we are physically away from the shop.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to being said such things. That brought a tear to my eye.
We're so proud of you, Pranit.
make the
found
most
You've
Just
of it.
grown
in
so
life.
much under my tutelage.
You've only been
I'm
here
not
for one
used to
session.
You just had to take the rug away from him, didn't you? Just
I'm not used to
couldn't
that.
give him
though.
his moment.
I was thinking back to Francoise, hearing good plan and not you imbecile. That's new. That's new.
Annie Jones is a lovely character. You're going to love her as she matures and becomes more like Francoise.
So far, I do.
We're going to drive her towards the Francois stance. Right?
Yeah, I see. I'm not sure how much of that was actually Francoise or just a reaction to being around you guys. We'll have to see.
Okay. Are you planning to go back to the Norfolk to just kind of get freshened up or something
Yeah.
like that before you head out?
Yeah.
Okay. You do so. So now it's kind of getting towards dinner time. You can hear like the distant sound of a mosque. There is one in Nairobi, but like a corpse prayer and things. But when you get back to your hotel, it's heaving. There's loads of guests waiting to check in the lobby. Other kind of staff running around everywhere. You don't know if there's anything on specifically, but it's just really busy. And Charles, when you went back there previously, you did remember seeing like a few more people than usual so far. But right now, yeah, it's chock a
I've been
block.
spotting lots of tourists since I got here, so I'm actually going to ask a few of them, how come you're in Nairobi?
Okay, cool. So very sort of white clientele, as you can probably tell, given how rich this place is, and it's in the European district. In terms of what you can hear, there's various languages going on, a bit of French, German, you think, maybe Greek, something like that. So is there anybody in particular you want to approach, or do you just
Yes,
kind
an
of go
English
for...
speaker.
Well, yeah, an English speaker. Okay. Yeah, you see a couple. They're kind of a bit sort of tall and lanky looking, and The man in particular sort of looks at you with a little bit of a turned up nose, looks you up and down, and says, well, it is a good time of year to come before the rains hit. Lots of good safari places, I hear.
Oh, so you're here for safari?
Well, why else would we be here?
Oh, how wonderful. Well, I'm just curious. There's so many people here. I was just curious if they're all here for a safari.
Well, yes. It is rather busy. I hope they're not all going to camp on our turf. And you think that he's maybe a little bit annoyed that there's so many people here, but you can give me psychology if you want.
Yes, okay. Ooh, that's an incredibly good roll. That is an extreme.
Okay, he is completely lying. He's definitely not here for safari, and the whole kind of, oh no, there's more people here is just complete bullshit. Like, he obviously doesn't care.
So whereabouts are you doing your trek then?
Oh, well, we're hoping to go south. There are a few rather nice looking places, so we've heard. We're going to get some guides in the morning.
Well,
Why?
of course.
Are you also coming on safari? Or?
No, it's the wrong time to set off, of course, because you want some you want some moonlight. We're just coming into the new moon, aren't we? Now, when was that exactly?
What? A new moon? What do you mean? There's no moon? Is that
Yes,
what you mean?
the new moon.
What does that matter?
Oh,
We've got
well,
plenty
less
of light
light
sources.
for travel. Oh, I see. Yes, no, I just can't seem to remember what day that is. I'm sure it's next week at some point.
I don't know. He actually calls around and kind of brings over a servant, we think, who he starts asking.
Yeah, I stopped listening at that point because that
But,
wasn't the point.
Again, you definitely think that he knows very well when the new moon is, and etc. etc.
Okay. So I turn around away from him and back toward the party, and I go,
Okay. Yep. Okay.
ooh. It's nice to meet you. Sorry to have troubled you. Hope you have a good hunt.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. Well, that was more informative than I would have liked.
Are you gonna? You said you're gonna head to your suite, weren't you? And freshen up
Yes.
and things.
Yeah.
No, Charles. No.
What?
You know damn well what.
My mind was in complete innocent mode.
It was more of a Cairo revival. What was it implying?
Yeah, he's learning from the cultists.
Oh, you mean the comment I've made in the chat?
Yes, that.
Don't tackle Bleep.
I was just putting it out there as a discussion point. I wasn't necessarily saying it was an actual
Benefit
point
of
to
the
be going
viewers,
down.
Ronnie is suggesting that we trap them all in the hotel and set fire to it.
I mean, that would be a great way of clearing your names.
Clearing our names.
Such a lawful good material.
Not Annie's name, but everyone else's.
Oh.
I say we take off and just bomb the entire
God.
site from orbit.
No. Yeah, I was
No,
reading that.
No.
No.
Lee, go sit in a corner and think about what you've done.
You shut up. You shut up, Ronnie. Just shut up.
No, that was bad. That comment from Lee was bad.
Just because you were thinking it, I still haven't said that.
Also, Francoise didn't hire thugs to beat up Winston. She used the police. She swatted him.
FBI, open up.
Okay,
Right.
right. So anyway, you get freshened up in your suite, maybe get a nice change of shirt on, Perry, because of
Change your
your kind
turban.
yes, if you have a change of turban, I wasn't sure. Actually,
Yeah,
yeah, you might
I
do.
mean,
Yeah, and Perry, with your kind of lack of mobility, you kind of need a little bit of help from one of the boys to get your get like a clean shirt on and things. That's a good point, actually. Are you planning to go with the others to break in to the tea room?
If I do, I'll keep keeping watch outside. I don't think I can help in a great deal by breaking in.
Okay.
Yeah, you can sit outside in your wheelchair with a gun. You'd be like our tank.
you'll be a turret.
Yeah.
Fair dues, fair dues.
Just with a handgun staying on the chair and looking left and right.
I was thinking about the shotgun. Fire the shotgun and get blown down the street on the backwards in the wheelchair.
Well, it's a way of moving quicker.
Like a propeller.
Now, I think I'm just trying to remember if the tea room is shut by now or not. I think.
Stephen, you're absolutely right. We, the players, have dropped some pretty bad puns in our time. That's how we're able to judge really bad puns like Lee's. We are experts.
You are.
Thank you very
Yes,
much for
okay.
saying so.
Right. So,
I don't like you using the plural, Steve.
anyway, so are you all kind of planning to go straight to the tea room? How do you want to do this?
I'm going alone, and you're following behind.
Yeah, I mean, we give Pranit time to talk to her and
Okay.
Planning? This is my first break-in. I don't know how to plan it.
Planet.
One of many.
Yes, planet.
Damn it, Planet.
All I could think of was Rocky Horror.
Oh yeah, Janet.
All I could think was
I'm living. The next pun, I'm living.
The Chamber of Commerce.
Pranit and
brand.
Charles are the only one that have seen the actual building, so
That's very true. The others don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So
you're going to ask us. So what you're going to do is you're going to ask the functioning drunk.
You're leading this mission.
What?
Well, Perry can't come in. Pranit won't be there, so it's us two.
you don't see many people in wheelchairs doing burglaries.
Not successfully, no.
Right. So Planet's going there alone first. What are the three of you doing until like the coast is clear? Like you've got no plan at the minute.
Yes. Until the coast
Except
is
for maybe
clear,
punning her to death.
we're going to sit in a pavement cafe or something and wait for Pranit to walk past with her and give us the nod.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you all kind of start heading nearish into the vicinity. Pranit and Charles, you see well, actually no, you don't know his name, but you see the sort of proprietor of Hampton House yet again sitting outside drinking port. There are a few empty tables as well, sort of small empty tables. It's nearish to where Tankhouse Tea Shop is.
This is as good. This is as good a place to decamp.
Hampton House, you say? What? Look, I don't recall this. Sorry.
It's the other hotel.
It's another hotel. Yeah.
It's the one we didn't go to because it wasn't quite posh enough.
There. Well, yes, okay. Well, we'll see you later, Pranit. Don't forget to give us the nod. Or don't nod if we shouldn't go in for any reason, like lots of other people.
Let's make it this way. If I'm scratching my cheek, abort the mission.
Right. So a cheek scratch, abort, nod, go ahead. Anything else, we don't know.
Just so I need to clarify the situation, because I'm sure there will be questions. What if you're trying to tell us that the mission should be aborted, but you're actually answering a question in the affirmative that she's just asked you at the same time? So you would be both nodding your head and scratching your cheek simultaneously.
Yeah,
Then,
I
to
put
get
my
past your
fingers.
pedantry,
No, I put my fingers like this and then just move the face to scratch it. You imbecile.
Exactly.
Channeling Francois.
Is everything all
I thought I
right?
heard a door as well.
No, it was exhaust of
All right.
somebody who likes to coke around their bike.
Well,
Okay.
I'll try just to answer verbally the questions of Madame Kaur, so that
Thank
if I nod, I'll just nod at you. Bless you.
Okay. Okay. So the other three of you kind of park on a table outside the Hampton house, and actually, it's okay. It's slightly more budget than the Norfolk, but it's still very nice. It's got these lovely kind of lawns leading up to some steps, different levels with like tables on and so on. And the proprietor gives you a wave. For those of you who've not seen before, he is also quite a portly gentleman, getting quite old now, you think, sort of into his 60s, big white handlebar moustache, and he's got like a pullover on with like a little logo of sorts. And he immediately calls for somebody clicking his fingers. Yes, please do get the finest port. I think these people have earned it by the looks of it. They've just arrived. Thank you, thank you.
Oh, yes, most generous. Yes, thank you. Yes.
Yes, welcome. Welcome to Hampton House. I am Alexander Baines, at your service.
Oh, hello, Baines. Hello, yes. Charles Barrington-Smythe.
Pleasure.
This is my associate, Miss Annie Jones.
Very
Hello.
nice to meet you too, fair lady.
It most certainly is. Thank you.
And this person here, what on earth happened to you?
Oh, a bit of an unfortunate occurrence on the train. There was a small fire, and
well, this is going to be a little bit of a problem. You can't possibly make your way up these steps. And he clicks his fingers again, and a couple more sort of bellboys come out, and he says, "Please, can you make this man a little more comfortable?" And they actually kind of gently pick up your wheelchair and kind of carry you up to a kind of a flat part. And
thank
sit
you.
you
It's
down.
very kind of you.
Well, what can I say? I do like to keep my guests comfortable. You, how long are you here for, if you don't mind me asking?
At least until the new moon.
Oh, that's very specific, dear. Are you into, are you
Star
into...
signs.
That's the one.
I'm
That's the
sorry,
one.
I've just seen Stephen's last comment.
I wasn't sure if you were into some strange religion like the Indians here are. But,
What do you mean by that?
well, they're not Christian, obviously. Hold on, I'm just reading this.
Weekend.
Well, Steve.
Come on, Steven.
Oh God.
Drinks arrive for you in any case as he's talking and being rather racist. And he takes another big swig of his port. Do carry on.
This is a fine position you have at the hotel, and a very fine night for sitting outside.
Well, I am the owner. I should be allowed to sit where I wish.
I'm the owner. Very impressive. It's a nice looking place.
Thank you. Although my hearing isn't depleting, I did hear your friend here take on a rather harsh regard for my hotel, and he looks like Charles.
You were kind of zooming in and out there.
I
I thought that was me.
No.
The sound went a bit, yeah.
All right.
Went a little. It was like it was a little muffled.
All right.
I thought you were just making us all feel like we were slightly deaf, just
No.
to sort of immerse us into how he was feeling.
he says, yes, my hearing is still as sharp as it ever was, and I heard your friend here talking a little more harshly about my hotel. Looking at Charles.
What? Who? What? I've never said anything of the sort, sir.
I won't take it personally. The clientele here are very good, and I get them a lot. The Norfolk is fine, but this place is far more homely. English people certainly tend to enjoy this place a bit more, I think.
Well, that's good because I'm English.
Yes, I clocked that, my dear. As is your friend here, who definitely enjoys 10-year ports.
He appears to enjoy everything with an ABV.
Ah. Well, as long as you pay.
Yes, he's quite a connoisseur.
I imagine he is.
Well, in terms of paying, in that regard, he is actually an incredibly generous man.
Well. I am pleased to hear that a young lady is looked after correctly.
I am looking at your character with one simple expression on my face, which would best be described in one word. Why?
Why? Because you're paying for these drinks.
But, my dear, why are you so keen on the phases of the moon? You never answered my question.
Oh, I just like star signs.
Oh, yes, you did say star signs. You're not my first guest who is into that sort of thing.
Oh?
Oh, well, in fact, a young lady, she looked a little like you, actually, was with them. It did just jog my memory a little bit of them. But yes, the men she was with in particular, and it did seem a little strange that she was the only lady. It was interesting the way they talked about the stars and the moon a lot, especially under the influence.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember them quite vividly, even though it was a few years ago now. And he kind of looks wistfully up to one side.
Mm-hmm.
Do tell me more. I'm curious to know.
Well, let me have a think. They were on an expedition of sorts. They only stayed here for a few nights. there was this rather lovely lady, American, I believe. In fact, I believe several of the party were American. One man who seemed to be the leader was definitely of English descent. Quite a cocky young man, I must say. There was another very rich younger man. I believe he was the one funding everything by the looks of it.
Oh, now hang on. Wasn't he? Are you referring to that playboy? What was his name?
Ah,
Something
yes,
Carlyle.
yes. Roger Carlyle, yes.
That's it. Yes, I remember reading about them heading out
Oh,
here.
well.
It was all over the London papers when they arrived and left London.
Ah, yes, they did mention that they'd arrived from London. Well, they'd been to a few places, but yes, they were indeed in London for a while, from what I know.
So tell me, what were they saying about the moon and the stars?
Well, to be honest, I found it a little gobbledygook. I didn't really listen to everything, but in particular, the Englishman. Now, what was his name? Sir Aubrey, I believe. He was particularly interested in constellations, as was one of his American friends. Houston, I think his name was, some strange New York name. The lady, I do remember her being a little ill, as was the playboy. His bodyguard seemed quite defensive for my staff to do anything, though. He was obviously quite protective of the young man.
Wasn't there a rumour that she was pregnant?
Pregnant?
No?
I don't know if there was anything like that going around. I certainly don't remember anything, but she did look a little dumpy. Maybe she'd let herself go on some Egyptian barley a bit too much.
Oh, maybe I might be getting my stories crossed then. It's hard to remember, but it was a few years ago, as you say.
Well,
I'm
if
most
she
curious
was
to know what they discussed about the stars, though.
well, if she was pregnant, it'd be awfully foolish of her to be out here. It's not really the place for a lady to be going on an expedition with a baby inside of her, surely.
Not quite.
Like I said, I don't really remember much about what they talked about, but they definitely were keen on making a few trips. One was they said they wanted to go north for something, some research or another, and they did say that they were keen to go when it was dark, dark of the moon. Not entirely sure why. Surely, surely the opposite if you're heading out into the wilderness.
One would think, yes.
It did seem rather odd to me at the time, but I did not impose.
Did they go anywhere else?
Oh, I believe they did do a trip out to the colonel's place. They all came back. I don't know if you know the stories about down there, but
I've heard, yes, people go missing, mutilated corpses, the tiger
yes,
attacks, isn't it?
yes. But lion, tiger, some big cat, I think, or several. Could be a whole pride of them, but I don't go near the place. Although I'm a bit too old for that sort of thing now. I prefer to take in the plains and the air from my own doorstep.
Well, oh, this sounds like the right thing to do to me. Rather than being out there in all the wilderness.
Absolutely, my dear. And you kind of exchange a bit more conversation, have a few more drinks and things. But let's jump over to Mr. Singh Dillon. where you head up the road. A tiger in Africa, yes. You head over to Town Cower's tea shop. The lights are
Mhm.
still on. It appears to still be open. It's about 5:30 by now.
All right, so I just step in.
Okay, yep. Door goes. There's a little dingle from the bell, and she is in there. She's serving somebody at the moment, but she immediately spots you and goes, "Oh, Mr. Pranit, I will be there in just one moment, if you don't mind, sir."
Yeah,
And
don't worry. No rush.
oh, she reverts back, you think, to Swahili, and starts talking to like a local, you think. Says a few things. There's a bit of tea exchange and so on, and the guest kind of heads out, full of little boxes of tea. Oh well, I wasn't expecting to see you here so quickly. Are you out of tea already, sir?
Oh no, unfortunately I'm not. But as I mentioned earlier, I just arrived and I don't really know if there's something nice to try to sightsee, for example. So I was wondering when you close shop, if you could maybe be my Cicero around Nairobi.
Well, I'm sure I could tell you a few places to go. I usually, after I close at about 7 o'clock, I like to go to a nice little cafe for something to eat. You can join me if you like.
I'd be delighted. See you here at 7.
Very well. I normally go there to talk with other merchants as well, so a bit maybe a little boring, but I'll try and keep it brief for you. For you are not here for very long, from what I know, only a few days. I like to make the most of it. Do you stay for much longer, or are you kind of just wanting to come back there at 7, like you said?
I don't actually know. I mean, if the shop, sorry, is not that big, it'd be kind of obvious staying there, just lurking and waiting.
Yeah, you think. Although in terms of outside, there are sort of plenty of places you could perch if you want to wait a bit closer.
What I'd like to do is, of course, go out of the shop to get back there at 7 and have a look at the premises to see, for example, if there's a back window, a back door, more stories.
All right, yeah, sure thing. So you kind of you kind of wave goodbye or whatever, and yeah, you head on out, and you have a little peruse and things. Basically, just so you've got an idea, there's sort of the main street that you've been coming along. In terms of where the shop is, there are a couple of adjacent neighbouring buildings. There is an alley going down one side of her shop. And as you go down there, you definitely see a side door, which you vaguely remember seeing another door actually when you were sitting inside. So you assume it's the same door, although obviously just on the other side. Apart from that, it's a rectangle shaped shop. The other side is completely kind of connected to the other side, the other neighboring building. So apart from that side door, there's not really a couple of windows. There's not really anything else. It's not particularly tall either. You don't know if there's any sort of further floors above or anything like that.
All right.
However, you can give me a luck roll.
Do I have an 11? Do I? Yes, I do.
You do.
Nope.
Okay. So you're kind of looking up and down this alley, maybe seeing if there's any like other nooks and crannies anywhere that you've missed. And as you're kind of walking back up, for some reason you don't see, maybe because of the where the sun is positioned, it's sort of bright in your eyes because it's so low in the sky, maybe. But anyway, this rather big, burly chap, local guy, bumps into you, and he says some profanity at you in Swahili. You notice he's got like a kind of a red sash hanging at his belt, although you don't see any weapons specifically. But he's looking at you as if you shouldn't be here.
I'd say to him in Arabic, because I don't know what kind of languages he speaks. I don't speak
Yeah.
Swahili.
No, but bear
So-
in mind you do get it on a quarter because of the borrowing, like the
All right.
word borrowing.
All right.
So you could try a Swahili roll, technically.
Yes. I'll just say I'm sorry. Just plain and simple. Ends
Okay.
up. I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. I'll let you have that. You think he's kind of telling you to fuck off or something like that, get out of here. And he starts marching up the alley. Do you comply with what he says?
He starts marching away from me.
Yeah, so you're kind of near the entrance to the alleyway. The side door is much further up towards the other side. So he starts heading up the alleyway.
I comply, but just hiding behind the corner to see how far he goes.
Okay. That is fine. Can you make me a stealth roll, please?
Yes, I will. That's an hard... No? Yeah, that's a hard pass.
Okay, cool. So you kind of start heading off, and judging from how he's moving, you don't think... sorry, you do think he's convinced that you've done what he's asked. He kind of takes a little look around. You don't think he's seen you, and then heads in to Tankawa's shop through the side door.
All right. How much time has passed since I went out of the shop? Well, how long till 7?
Only about 20 minutes or so. So you still got, a good hour or so to kill.
Yeah, I'm going to the Hampton house and
Okie-dokie.
to speak. Well, what I would like to do, given the fact that I noticed that this place has some sort of security / surveillance by this dude, I want to make sure nobody's following me. To tell them to expect resistance inside of the shop.
Okay. You can make me a spot hidden roll. See if anybody is following you.
Regular pass.
Okay. You don't think anyone's following you. It's hard to tell, though. You think maybe you're being watched, but you also notice after another sort of few minutes, you see another, again, local-looking person heads down the alleyway by Tankawa's shop.
All right. Yeah, I'm still going to the Hampton house to give a voice to my comrades, because shit might go sideways.
Well, there's no sign of Pranit, and I didn't think he'd be that long, so he must be dead. Shall we head back to the hotel?
Yeah, he might be dead, or he might be getting really lucky.
And then there he is coming up the pavement.
Yes, speak of the devil. You see him coming up.
Oh,
Oh, look out for the signal.
I'm alone,
He's alone.
so there won't be any signals.
Is he walking or is his head nodding? Do you think that's just from the stepping or?
It seems it's
Seems a little.
backfired.
Seems a little. I mean, his head does look a little downtrodden. Maybe she rejected him.
Oh my word! I didn't expect that.
Super fast, guys. I have to go back there at 7 because she's closing the shop at 7. There's people in there. Like, I believe there are some sort of guards or whatever. I would be extra careful if I were you.
Okay. We're going to have to rethink this whole thing now. Because I don't know what you're like under sort of pressure, Miss Jones, but I have to say that I don't do pressure.
I've never been deep
Except in
sea
a
diving. If that's what you
champagne
mean.
bottle, eh?
Yeah, thing is these people are locals, and I've seen them lurking in a alleyway behind the tea shop, which has a side entrance door.
Perhaps they're intent on breaking in as well.
They take the easy way in.
Yes. Well, I think it might be asking a bit much to go in there whilst other people are in there. I mean, that's sneaking, but I mean,
Yes,
that's a bit 50-50. I mean that quite literally, looking at my skull. What and the other side, the other outcome to that is really rather catastrophic, I feel.
yes, yes. We might have to rethink this.
Yeah, I don't want to give you off in case they're following me, so I'll be heading back.
Right, well, enjoy your date.
And you yours.
Don't do anything I can't do.
On that, shall we take a little break while you have a think?
Please and thank you.
Yes.
See you in a sec.
La la la.
And Lee, I have to say, even I wouldn't have went for that pun. Sorry, that's a whole different kind of punning. That
That
next
was
level.
stretching it, that one.
Well, when it's gone, it's gone.
No, that's a joke. What's the fastest cake in the world? Scone.
Yes, aware of what the punchline is. It's just like, it's kind of like having to do your
It's not a
own
stretch.
setup to get there, is what I'm saying in terms of.
Oh, I see. Lee is big into his Cthulhu, so I'm sure he's loving it.
Well, I think we need some kind of distraction then, something to get the guards out.
Maybe
I'm rather hoping you're.
have an accident, maybe with the wheelchair outside the shop.
Would that get them all out?
That depends how many's in there. Maybe if I make a fuss.
Okay, so just so we're clear, we are actually taking the wheelchair on our breaking and entering a bit of the excursion.
I won't be breaking and entering. I will be distracting and
Right.
Sneaking in.
loitering.
Our diversion then is only getting one of the people out of the building, and so we're having to make another diversion. I'm just wondering how many of us will be left by the end of this. So if they don't all come out, who's doing the next diversion?
Stephen, no!
The comments tonight.
No!
If anything, the comments have been the biggest distraction of all. They're putting you to shame.
That's the Uhura naked fan dance thing again. No!
Let's not
I do
go
hope
there.
I'm not going to end up in a belly dancer's costume.
At least you'll be wearing more clothes than Stephen's idea.
Well, if you put me in it, no one's going to be leaving the shop.
Well, it depends. You'd certainly distract them.
We could always set off some kind of smoke bomb. Not that I know how to make a smoke bomb.
To say, do you have some kind of smoke bomb?
Oh God, why?
It's just one of those hotels where you can ring up room service at 3 o'clock in the morning and basically ask for absolutely anything. They'll get it for you.
Well, sir, you are in Nairobi. We do our best, but it's Nairobi. I'm just seeing if there's anything close by that you would have seen, like in that area.
What are the sort of surrounding buildings and businesses?
Yeah. So, oh, hold on. Where's the hotel actually for my? Well, not from where you are because you're in it, but
Simply because I'm a hair's breadth away from considering the fan dance, so I'd like to have options.
Okay. Right. Okay. So, basically, you know that the railway line is behind the hotel. Just opposite is the Bank of England. Further along, basically between Tankawa's shop and your street, is a load of markets.
So a very big fan for you then.
There's also
I'm flattered you think so.
Standard, although
No, it's to hide your body.
Now.
A fire in the market, maybe?
I was so hoping nobody would say a fire.
Oh, it's
People could get hurt.
it'd be stalls. There'll be no one there this time of night.
With the
Jason
people in the
is
shop
sitting there
care.
contemplating the fact that somehow, somewhere, someone's going to pay. Look,
So
it's as simple as this. We got burned, so someone else has to.
You can
That's
just-
called karmic balance.
How are you going to get them out of the shop? That's the thing. You need something. They need to be going to do something that will take them a while.
I don't suppose we could get a couple of tambourines and walk by singing Hare Krishna.
There is another alternative. If we don't get them out of the shop, we could just keep them in the room that they're in. Although I don't know how to do that, but alcohol, perhaps.
My hand reflexively goes over my flask.
What is it that they want? Don't they want you? Aren't you being hunted?
Perhaps they're going to be. Perhaps they won't be in the shop. Perhaps they'll be following Pranit.
Well, there is that possibility, yes.
Yes, I'd rather not bank on it, though. I'd like to have a plan.
What about bribing the local
Oh, my
police
dear,
to
the bank
go
is
to
shut
place and
now.
arrest them?
It'll open tomorrow morning, though.
I'm rather hoping the owner of the hotel isn't snooping our conversation. In fact.
Oh well, I mean, if you don't want him listening in, that's fine. I can, yeah.
Given we're discussing a break-in.
Yes.
Cause
Actually, what I will say is he's kind of gently snoring in his chair. You think from the amount of port he's been drinking all day.
Oh, we'll move over to a different table so we're away from him in any case.
Yes.
So we're agreed then.
On what?
On what?
Of coming
Of
up.
anything.
No. Right. Hopefully, at least one of the blighters follows Pranit.
Well, that just puts Pranit in danger. No, we need to first of all hope they're not following him, and secondly to figure out what to do about them.
Because if they are guarding something, if you keep them in the room, wouldn't they be in the room with the thing they're guarding?
Well, it allows us to search the rest of the place, including that loose floorboard.
The problem is that no doubt in order to get to the room that they're in, we would have to get into the building, which means they're going to come out of the room to intercept us.
Could we call the police and say there's 2 suspicious people on the premises and get them to arrest them?
What?
Oh, I like that idea. Except for the possibility that they might leave a policeman actually standing guard in case the ruffians come back.
What if we go in and I have the gun to... Oh, it'd have to be Perry. That's not going to work because you'd be a wheelchair.
I can still fire a gun from a wheelchair, but it's going to slow us down if there's going to be a getaway.
You were talking of a distraction. Why don't you go in, pointing the gun into the back of Charles, and say that this man accosted you whilst you were in the street and tried to mug you, and that you pulled the gun on him to basically create the scene. You were talking about making a scene, but make the scene in that room with Charles there to back you up. Meanwhile, I'll sneak in and take a look under that floorboard. And maybe the rest of the place, whilst you keep them in that room.
So, just so I'm understanding this, your idea of a distraction is for my friend here to impugn my honor. All of a sudden, I think I should be wearing the belly dancer's uniform. It'd probably be less.
It's all right. It's all right, old chap. I probably won't shoot you.
What do you mean, probably?
What I'm thinking is that allows you both to enter their guard room, or whatever their room is, and have guns whilst in there, and easy access to guns, and gives you a good pretense of being there to occupy them with a lot of shouting and noise.
Or, here's an idea. And this is something I can do very well. I can go up as if I'm very, very inebriated to the front door, banging on the front door, demanding to be let in because I want to buy some tea, and creating a great deal of ruckus and noise at the front whilst you try and get in the back somewhere.
Well, Pranit said they went in the back door, the side door. It's okay. We've got an hour, so just come back next
Exactly.
week, Giorgio.
Exactly. It's your safety we're thinking of, Giorgio. If we screw up, we all die, and then you're all alone, and there'll be nobody to save you from the cultists.
I quite like the
We're
idea.
thinking of your safety.
I quite like Annie's idea of going in with a gun already drawn. Sounds very appealing.
Do you think we should just rush them?
No, it is a possibility. You might be able to rush them, but there's nothing to say you won't be forced to shoot them if they put up a fight. A distraction, I think, as Annie said, is probably the better way of doing it.
Well, short of setting fire to the building so that they're very occupied and then going in amongst the flames, it's the best idea I've had.
Well, I mean, it's fairly simple. I mean, we could get a good bottle of scotch from the bar here, and a rag, and just set up a Molotov cocktail and just
Which
lob
doesn't
it through
exist
the
yet.
window.
We don't want to burn the building we have to go into.
Thank you, Perry. The only sensible one here.
Yeah, I think if I take Charles in at gunpoint is a good option.
Woohoo!
You can have a gun on your person too, just don't have it drawn. But at least then you have one gun drawn, and however they react, you're in a more optimal situation.
Right, hold on.
I am a little confused.
Hold on. If we're going to do this, I require to do one thing first.
What, another drink?
I need something a lot larger than this flask. I'll be back in a moment. I'm going to go to the bar, and I'm going to order a large one.
One other problem is, how do I actually get into the tea shop, given the front door will probably be locked?
See, this is why I think I should just be the drunken bastard at the front door demanding tea. They'll come to the front door to tell me to fuck off, and
one of them will, and then you might get shot, slashed, punched, possibly in that order.
Yes, because Perry's gun in my back scenario is so much safer.
But do you think Perry's one of them and is going to shoot you?
No, but I have a feeling that the gun being out might heighten tensions just a tad.
But it won't be pointed at them. The point is, he makes a scene about you trying to mug him or something in the alleyway.
Right.
You can go straight in the back door. You've got a gun out already. It's a good plan.
That large one wasn't enough. Back in a minute.
It'd be better if I knew how to get through the front door without sort of smashing a window.
Yes, that is going to be a problem. Unless we go to the front door, bang on the front door, draw them out of the back room.
Yes.
Where was this loose board?
The loose board was where you were sitting in the back room.
Yes.
So we went out of the back room.
Yeah, so at the
Well,
front there was like a large desk thing.
What if we draw them to the front?
There's a small room in the middle that you don't know what's in there, and then at the back is this tea place.
We draw them
Too
to the
many
front.
Side
unknowns
door
at the
is near the
front.
yeah,
if
the
you draw
side
them
door
to
is
the
near the
unknowns.
back.
We draw them to the front, and even if only one comes out, I would demand they send somebody to get the police.
And ask
So
if you
one
can.
of them has to go.
Well, the idea is to get the front door unlocked, but then vacate the front. If you could actually get him in, or both of you get in and beyond the front. Oh, I see what you mean. You're thinking there might be in the room we need to check.
Yes. Yeah, we need them out of that back room. We don't want them in it.
Do we? Is it only 2 rooms?
Well, there may be
There's-
3. There's at least possibly one other, but
Well, there's 3, and there's an actual tea shop at the back. There's 2. There's 2 at the front. There's 2 rooms at the back.
And
the
bear in
loose,
mind
the
it's
loose
open
floorboard
plan.
was the
It's
loose
what, sorry?
floorboard.
It's open plan. So the back
Wait.
room is just connected to the front. There's no
Yeah.
door in between
Oh.
them.
Oh, that changes things a lot. That was a vital piece of information.
You're very welcome.
Right. So we have to
Perhaps we
get
should
them
get-
out of the building then.
Get them out of the shop. If we create a ruckus outside the shop, try and get them to the front, and demand one goes for the police. Then, if we do this,
Why don't-
holding up,
We just fire some shots at the front of the building and then disappear. Well, meanwhile, somebody else, namely me, or I guess, sneaks in the back.
could do that. I mean, you both, and you and Charles, if he's sober enough, could go.
Do not insult me,
I
dear
could
sir.
fire a gun from here, or a bit closer, maybe.
Just shoot the windows and the door, and then once they come out and chase and have a look around, that's our opportunity to get in. Maybe take a few pot shots while they're in the street. See if you
Oh,
well,
sure, if you
don't
hit the windows from a distance, that should be all right.
you know, just try not, try to get them to leave the area and search of you, but without them actually being able to easily catch you because you're in a wheelchair. I'm not sure it's the best plan.
I thought about returning to the hotel, actually, pretending I've been here all the time with I forget what it's called, being asleep.
Could. The only
Right.
problem is if they don't find anything outside, it might not give us much time.
It probably won't give you much time.
But all we need to do is get in there quickly, check the floorboard, and get out. I don't think we're actually searching the whole place top to bottom, are we?
No. We hopefully we will only need a few moments.
How is this tying into Pranit and going on the dates?
Well,
He's
that was
getting
Pranit's
rid of it.
idea to empty the shop, but he failed, so now we're having to deal with everything else.
See,
So much for
now
buttering them up.
Giorgio's feeling the comfort of familiarity.
It's like
And I don't feel so good about myself anymore. Thank you, Becky. So much. So much.
Well done for removing the least dangerous person from the room. That's all I can say.
You're welcome.
Excuse me. No, thank you for removing the least dangerous person. We assume.
Yeah, it's probably a magic
Good.
user.
Because I thought for now you were still all together and were waiting until 7 o'clock.
Pranit went back, I think, to
No, I went back because I didn't want
Yeah,
them to see me with
Oh,
them.
right. I
in
beg
case they
your
were
pardon.
following.
I thought you were still killing time. Okay.
No.
Right. Okay.
Pranit went back in time to see the other 4 turn up.
Okay, you're going to hate me even further then. Right. So you head back to the shop. It's about half an hour to go until official closing time. Do you just sort of head in and get her sort of thing, or?
Given the fact that just an half an hour is left to wait, I just wait inside of the shop.
Okay. You can hear her saying something again in Swahili, and you can You can do a roll if you want.
It was again a 4th on my Arabic.
Yes.
So given, oh fuck, let's say
It's not much, I know, but
it's shit. To be fair, way far off. No.
okay. Okay. So she sounds quite serious, but then you think she sort of stops mid-sentence. She's obviously heard the bell go, and you hear her call out, "I'll be there in a moment." And then you kind of hear her come round, but then you also hear other movement from in the back. And then you just start seeing a few guys, again, sort of all quite sort of thuggish looking, start heading out of the side door. She then kind of smiles at you again. "Oh, Mr. Pranit, I'm not quite finished yet, I'm afraid. I've got a little bit more time."
Yeah, I know. The fact is that not knowing the place, I had a little bit of a walk around the area, but I'm out of things to do.
I
So
see.
I
Yes,
thought I might as well come back in and maybe have a cup of tea while waiting.
but of course you can. Yes, I imagine the market is starting to close now as well. That is understandable. So yeah, she starts getting some tea and so on. Anything particularly you want to do whilst waiting?
Am I led to the tea room in the back?
Yes.
All right,
The
then.
plushest cushions, the nicest teacups, all of this.
Then I'm having a good look around to the room where she disappeared the time before with Charles, if that's open. And then having a general look around the room to see if the thuggish man left something or something is off.
Okay. You don't see what's inside the small room. That door is shut. But yeah, you've got plenty of time to look around. Although she is quite keen to kind of sit with you and talk about things like poetry and the gurus and so on.
No, well, if she's willing to have a conversation, I'm having the conversation with her. But I assumed she was closing up.
Oh, well, for the moment, she is kind of keen to sit with you for a few minutes, you think?
Then as long as she is in close proximity, I indulge in a conversation with her.
Okay. So yeah, you sort of try and keep up the pleasantries and things like that. You think though you're not quite sure because you haven't got like a clock in front of you, but you think time has passed a bit and she's still kind of sitting there talking.
I
Very much
let her
looking forward to our
talk.
game.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
You go first, actually, because I cut across you.
No, I didn't hear legitimately what you said because your voice went out again.
Oh, right, okay. I honestly don't know why. I'm not touching anything. She was just saying how much she was looking forward to the game and things on Wednesday.
Yeah, me too. The fact is, as I told you already, I've not been playing for a while now, so I really hope I'm living up to the expectation you are
it is not a
having
problem
of
at
this
all.
game.
In fact, and she looks back towards the front. I don't know if you have a few minutes now to do one. I don't know if I'll get any more customers, but business is business. I need to stay open when I say I'm open.
Yeah, sure. That's perfectly fine.
Okay. So she actually does then get up, and you think she goes into this small room, presumably to look for a chess set. So you may have a small window to have a look around. So you can make me a spot hidden.
Spot hidden. Nope.
You can't see anything else that's been disturbed specifically or anything that's been left behind or anything.
Right. Then, being the considerate man that I am, I'd like to approach her into the small room, asking if she needs help so that I can have a look inside of the room.
Uh-huh. Okay. Excuse me. Okay. Give me a second, because Adobe was being annoying again, so I've had to put it in separate windows.
As long as you're not loading stats of a shotgun or something, I'm fine.
No,
You can do
not-
whatever.
No, not really. So yeah, you have a look inside. This is quite a narrow room, this, but it looks to be a small bedroom of sorts. She's kind of near the back of the room where there's a bed and a little set of drawers, and she's sort of getting, you think, this chessboard out from under the bed. Oh, I'm
Do you
sorry,
need any
Pranit,
help?
I was only going to be a moment. No, not at all. It is all in this box, sir.
Oh,
It is
I'm
my
sorry. I didn't mean
pride
to
and
barge
joy.
in.
That is not a problem. I will make an excuse for you. It is okay. Yeah, she starts coming back towards the room, or the front of the room. You can't really see anything in here particularly out of place. There is another sort of small picture of Guru Nanak in here, kind of on a bedside table, I'll say. But yeah, apart from that, there's not really anything in here. It's a very plain looking room.
All right. So I head back with her to have this little game.
Okay. And yeah, she sort of brings across one. There's actually quite a few little barrels and stacks of tea and things. So she actually gets one of the barrels and sort of brings it across and places it on, and you start playing. Are you kind of concentrating a lot, or like what are you doing? Are you indulging?
No, I'm actually trying to play as best as I can because I don't assume Pranit is a huge chess player. I mean, as I intended it, he has a general meaning on how the play works, how the game works. He has had his fair share of games. He's not a pro or whatever, so I'm trying to play accordingly.
Okay. All right. So you're kind of trying to concentrate and so on. You can give me a no roll.
No.
How about a yes roll?
That's an hard pass.
Okay. So
That's a
yeah,
21.
quite a lot comes back to you as you're playing. Like you remember what each of the pieces do and things like that. She's pretty good. You kind of feel after a bit that she's definitely like kind of capturing a lot of pieces. However, you do notice an opening on the kind of the edge of the board. There's like a couple of things like a rook maybe you could capture. So you kind of go for that. As you do, she kind of tries to catch the piece that you're capturing, but it goes on the floor and starts rolling. And she goes, oh dear, and she leans down to get it. And you notice, you don't know if it was because she kind of moved this barrel, but you can definitely see that a bit more of that squeaky floorboard is a little bit looser. Like there's kind of like a gap now about sort of this big.
Do I have the chance to see a reflection of what's beyond the board, or it's pitch darkness?
Possibly. You can give me another spot hidden.
Because of course, as I see a space in the board, I'm looking right into. I don't know whether I actually see something or not. That's a regular.
Okay, you can't see through the gap at all. It is pretty dark. However, judging from how the floorboard's a bit out of place, there is another barrel that now you realize actually is kind of separate from the other barrels, and you think there's more of a gap underneath that.
How far is that from me?
You won't be able to reach it from exactly where you are, but you could easily just like get up and go to it. It's about 5-6 feet away from you.
No, I'm not doing that. That would raise too much suspicion,
Well,
given the fact that...
Hypothetically, I presume you didn't want to do it right now, this second.
No, not at all. Yeah, I don't really have any way of communicating it to the others, so I just hold tight to the information.
Okay, and yeah, you finish up the game, and she still unfortunately wins. But again, you think that she has a lot more experience than you do. But she says, you played, you did a very good effort. You did some very good moves there. I'm quite impressed with you. You'll go down well on Wednesday. But
Thank
please,
you for not holding back.
Oh no, not at all. Just because I'm a woman, it doesn't mean I do that with men. Not at all. And yeah, she starts packing up and kind of starts getting the chessboard ready and, well, not ready, like together, and puts it back in the room. And yeah, you can definitely see that there is more of a gap under this barrel. You think if there's a way down there, then that's the way. So she gets like a light coat on, and she says, well, if you are ready to go. And she gets this bunch of keys and starts locking the side door from the inside. And then you presume she's going to lock the front door as well as you go out.
All right.
Okay. So
Of course, I'm ready to go with her. I'm just thinking of a way that I could inform the other of the locked door, but nothing comes to mind.
where are the others positioned, by the way? Are you kind of hiding nearby? You're muted, darling.
We'll just wait in this hotel bar on the patio thing until it's time, and then we'll head over. But I've had another thought. One I think actually I prefer to all the others, only I don't particularly want to tell Perry and Charles about it beforehand. I don't think the plan we've come up with is particularly good. There is something else I can do.
Oh God, you're not, are you? And you have the audacity to say their plan isn't very good.
You see, whilst I was at the Penhew Foundation, I learned a thing or two about how this cult operates, and some of the things they do. I might have learned a thing or two myself.
What do you mean, magic-wise?
Well, yes.
Yes. That doesn't sound entirely crazy to us.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good.
Maybe we have come across similar things.
Okay. Have you ever come across like how to describe it? A man-sized vulture.
No.
See, I thought it would be an excellent distraction that could maybe deal with the men.
Yep, I thought so. However, as you're saying this crazy idea, because you're kind of up a little bit, like elevated, Annie, it just so happens because you did pass the spot hidden. You just managed to see a couple of men kind of coming out from somewhere you think might be from the tea shop. They look quite sort of stern looking, and then they kind of go their separate ways.
Oh, it looks like the men have left. Oh. Maybe if we'd been paying more attention to the shop, we'd have counted. I think they've departed. Well, why don't you two go first? When Pranit gives us the signal, you two go first. Well, Charles, you go first, and then if you give us a signal, I won't do the thingy.
Fucking hell. 'Cause that'll go really well.
I won't shoot the windows out.
I'm just saying. Well, it's sort of a bit of a commitment, and it can be a troublesome thing, and I'd rather not do it unless I have to.
You're going to make me use the word subtle again, aren't you?
It's just if maybe if you were to just go ahead and check that it is as empty as we think, and if not, I'll come in and rescue you with a man-sized vulture.
And I just throw this out here just as a possible alternative. Don't.
Okay, if you don't want rescuing, then that's fine. I'll just stay here and drink.
No. I'm all for rescuing. I'm rather not so enamored at the idea of super large feathered.
Well, it's better than a dragon, isn't it?
Well, it's more hairy than feathered, in fairness.
Anyway, it seems like those two guys have left.
I'm going to have a sneaky looky in the windowy.
Okay.
Well, Pranit hasn't come past and given the signal yet.
No, and it looks like as well, Pranit, as you're kind of heading out of the shop and she just start locking up the front door, there's actually like a padlock you notice that she kind of puts on it. She directs you towards the cafe, which actually appears to be more the other direction towards the Indian Quarter. So you don't think that you're going to come past the Hampton House anytime soon?
If we can see the guys leaving, can we see Pranit leaving?
I'll say yes. I mean, he's got a big turban on as well, so he's more noticeable.
Well, of course, I have a look around. And if I see them, of course, I give them the nod. If I not, I just...
Just about. It's harder from where you are kind of looking up rather than them looking down towards you.
But was he gesturing? It's hard to see. It's just kind of a small blob from here.
It did sort of look like a nod.
His turban does seem to be moving slightly in an angle. So
maybe we should have had a less subtle signal.
I'm sure. I'm pretty sure his head is oscillating in a nodding direction.
Yes. I think you would have known semaphore or something.
But yes, you see the two of them go off in another direction.
What does that mean? We didn't agree on that.
You just got mixed.
I would suggest we make our way there.
Okay. Slightly terrified, if I'm honest. I've never done this kind of investigation before.
No, neither had the last person.
Well, you get there, and as far as you can see, it does appear void of any thugs or anything like that. Do you still have a look through the window, Charles?
Yeah, I'll have a sneak peek.
Yeah, it appears empty. The front door is, as I mentioned before, it appears to be padlocked. You do manage to locate the other door as well on the side, and that is also locked. Although that's with a key.
Right. Well, there are 3 ways to get through a lock. The
Yes.
first is we try to pick the lock, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah. No.
Then we try and hit the door, and if that doesn't work, we shoot it.
I could keep watch at the end of the alleyway. Give you a thumbs up when the street's pretty clear.
It is quite a busy street, but this time of day, because again the markets are kind of shutting up, it is definitely a lot less busy.
Well, would you like to do
What kind
the
of
honors
padlock?
with the
What kind of
shoe,
padlock
Jules?
have we got here, Jason?
I don't know.
Big
if
and
it
bulky, or sort of small? I mean, what we're looking at here?
Let me just see if it actually specifies.
It's going to have to be the side door, though, isn't it? Because the front door.
Yeah, front door would be a bit of lock.
Yeah.
Plus, side door, there's less chance of people seeing us trying to bust in.
No, it just says padlocked. So either a locksmith or a strength rolls would suffice, or if you want to try and shoot it off, you can do.
No, I was thinking more using the butt of the gun and just going.
Yeah, or that. It would still be a strength roll, but yeah, you can do that as well.
Yeah, I'll do that. Because of course my rolls have been so good so far this evening.
This is on the front door. Bear in mind.
Side door.
No, side door.
The side door is locked, just with a key. There's no padlock on it. You can still use the butt on the door if that's what you want. But okay, all right, fine. Yeah, strength roll then.
Into the... That would be an extreme on the door.
Ooh.
Success or fail?
Well, that depends on what you think about me shoulder charging the door and basically the door flying open.
Well, yeah, it does. It does very cleanly open, but you definitely think that there was perhaps a bolt as well on the other side, which has now come off, and you actually hear it kind of hit something on the maybe the wall on the other side of the room, like a little metal, latch of sorts. But yeah, it's definitely open. The waft of tea hits your nostrils once again.
Pull out my derringer and head in.
Okay, at this point, Charles, actually, because you have had quite a lot to drink, even for usual, can I have a con roll from you?
It's just a bit much.
It is a bit of a whiff, yeah.
But I do make my con. It's
okay. Yeah, you're all right. So
pass, but
yeah, a few seconds, and you feel okay again. You sort of blink a little bit. It's a little bit kind of makes your eyes itch a little bit from the fumes, maybe of some more incense that she's been lighting.
Remind me before we go. I do need to get more of that Darjeeling. Well,
Oh yes, good idea. Make it look like a burglary.
Well, that was my thinking. Yes. Well, that's what I'm telling her.
Okay, so yes, you're in kind of more towards the back room, back area sort of thing. There is the smaller room as well, of course, and given you're not with Pranit, you have no idea what's in there. Yeah, at the minute, there's not really anything that looks particularly out of the ordinary.
Well, we're looking straight away for this displaced floorboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have a lot. You don't need to roll for that.
Go back to where we were seated.
Yeah,
myself and Pranit last time, and find that floorboardy thingy.
You can see that. Yeah, the floorboard definitely looks a little bit more out of place than before, and there is this barrel that does look a little bit out of place, and there is also a gap under there.
Okay, I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to just lift the top of the barrel to see what's in it before moving it.
Oh, okay. There is some loose tea leaves.
Oh, okay, just shove it out of the way.
Okay. And yes, you basically you get it out of the way. There is a bit more of a gap, and there is a trap door.
Ha! get the little derringer out. And you ready for this, Charles? Or did we leave Perry somewhere? Never mind. Right, let's do it.
I was going to say, is
Padlock.
Perry?
Yeah.
You're keeping watch outside, aren't you, Perry?
Yes, I wouldn't be much good in the shop, I don't think, nor a wheelchair.
Okay, cool. All fine.
But actually, we do have a perfectly good use for you.
What's that, carrying tea?
Yeah, you're gonna carry all the tea.
Yeah, we're going to
Well,
toss
we're
you
gonna
out your
steal.
chair and put it all in the chair.
Yeah. We'll put a blankie over you.
It's not a wheelbarrow.
See you later, Lee. Glad you enjoyed it.
Hi, Lee.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.
Just switching back to Pranit briefly before you descend down into the basement. So yeah, you arrive at this. Wait, did I say Perry? I meant Pranit.
You said Pranit.
I did say Pranit.
You
Okay,
said Pranit.
cool. That's fine. Yeah, you are led to this rather nice, bustling little cafe, and she orders the both of you something to eat, some nice sort of lentil dal type food. There does appear to be some other sort of merchant types in here that she does mingle with very, very kind of briefly, but she makes a point that she's with you, and therefore to leave her alone, sort of thing.
All right. I try to listen to everything they say to her to see if I hear some reference to something that should be of interest for my group. Whether if it is
Okay.
mundane business, of course, I'm not interested. But if they're talking, for example, of import-export to or from
Yeah.
China, maybe, of course, I'm
Yeah,
interested.
sure. Okay. Interestingly, the majority of people who kind of see her and start talking to her appear to be Indian. You think maybe because they've come from the Indian quarter. So, yeah, they all appear to be talking in Punjabi. Given the noise in here, can you give me a listen roll to see if you can distinguish like different kind of conversations and so on?
Listen, you say.
I do say.
Nope. For the life of me, I cannot.
It's kind of hard to tell. You think that they may be talking a bit about Mombasa, but then you do know that there's a big Indian community there, and think maybe from ports and stuff like from the port and so on. But you can't really get anything particularly kind of specific, especially nothing to do with import export or anything like that to do with China or the like. But anyway, she like I said, she orders a couple of things for you, and she's quite inquisitive about you. She asks you things you like. What are you planning to do here? Do you have any excursions in mind? Any safaris, perhaps, if you are into that? I do not know.
Well, I had in mind with my friend Charles that you met to go on a safari, but we were told to stay away from Colonel Sedincot's lodge because apparently there are loose animals.
Oh yes.
Something I was told about a report, an article on the Star saying about a rogue lion, was it, that ate a couple of tourists?
Right, yes. I have heard strange rumors going on at his lodge. I've not really been there for a long time. I only went once or twice just to deliver some tea to him. It was very out of the way though for me. I did not think it worth it in the end. So if he wants some tea, he comes to me, which is not very often.
I mean, I think I saw him earlier today, and is not the tea type at all. It doesn't look like it. If it was him,
no. If he gets tea, he usually likes to put something stronger in there. It is a monstrosity what he does with my tea. No, there are others, other white men who appreciate tea, and obviously you do as well. But he is not one of them. No.
as long as he pays.
Well, yes, but again, it is only occasionally he asks for tea.
Is there some kind of activity beside playing chess that you would recommend doing here in Nairobi?
Oh, I would recommend. There is a museum here if you are into local history and things. There are some lovely. If you're not into safaris, that is understandable. But I personally go out into the country on Sundays. You're of course welcome to join me, but there are some lovely, easier walks without going too far out into the wilderness, the savannah, what have you. Some lovely spots.
I'm sorry, I was just reading Becky's
Yes,
comment.
I've just seen it as well. I'm sorry there are no long beaches here. I suppose
All
if you
right.
went all the way up to Lake Victoria, there could be a beach.
Oh, just as. This is not it.
Oh, have you had a light bulb moment?
No, I was trying to mention. What was the name of the woods again, where the Carlyles were found?
The Aberdare Forest.
Aberdare. All right. I even heard that Mount Satima and the Aberdare Forest are a great place to visit, if you're guided, of course.
Really? Who told you that?
I mean, probably by a white man that's never been here, given how you react to this.
Yes, I am not surprised. I would not go up there if I were you. It is, it can be quite dangerous if you don't know where you're going. It is easy to get lost. Lots of vast plains and things, but the forests are quite dangerous. Dangerous snakes and things. There are some small villages, I think, out there, but they are very excluded and isolated. Except for the occasional when white men like to go up there and remind them who owns the place. But apart from that, no, I would not recommend it unless you are a serious hiker or on an expedition, perhaps. But
No, not my case. Well, are you talking about secluded villages, something like tribe villages, something of sorts?
yes, I do not know exactly what their names are. There are a few tribes up there. I think a couple of them are Nandi tribes. I don't really speak much Kikuyu, but that is usually what they speak up there. But I believe sometimes they do get quite nasty with each other as well. They do like to have their scuffles and so on. So it is not safe for tourists up there at the wrong times.
I can see that.
You can make me psychology as she's talking about this if you like.
I can, but I probably won't. So let's see. Oh, that's a 10. And I just got the base 10. That's perfect.
Okay. Give it
Oh, yes.
Okay, so you definitely think that she knows more about this Aberdare range that she's making out. She's obviously heard of it. You think that she knows where it is as well. Like, perhaps she's even been there before?
So you were saying you would like to go to the country in the weekends?
Yes, I do that every Sunday. Obviously, weather permitting, but I do like to stretch my legs, get out for nice walks.
Around what some areas in particular?
There are some nice areas just south of here, nice grasslands and things.
So if I understood correctly, geography of this place in between here and Colonel Sandicott Lodge, give or take.
Oh, well, that is miles away. I cannot walk that far. Gosh, no. No. I'm only talking a few miles out. I like to walk just south of Nairobi, beyond the railway line. That is all.
Ah, right. I thought when you said country, something more farther from the city. Something farther from the city.
No, I do not have a vehicle, and I cannot drive. So no, it is just on foot for me.
Mhm. Did she tell me already about her husband, right?
Yes. Yeah, he
All
came
right.
here a few years ago with her to work on the railway, and he died apparently.
He died, all right.
Yeah.
So I remembered correctly. I don't know what else to ask her.
Maybe
Well,
we should jump back. Oh, actually, go on.
No, on the topic of expeditions, as you mentioned before, Madame Mrs. Kaur, I'm nothing farther from there. And you see, where I'm from, there's been a lot of articles about what happened to the Carlyle expedition, the Carlyle,
Carlyle?
maybe,
Oh, Carlyle.
maybe.
Not that I know of. That they did visit the place here, but there's not been any recent things about them.
No,
What do you know about
not recently. I'm talking a little while back. I
Oh,
read
yes,
that
yes, they were here. Yes,
that they all disappeared. They had a terrible
yes.
hand. So I promised myself no expedition in my lifetime.
Yes, indeed. I, I, um, I, they asked me for some tea. This Englishman, Sir somebody, I believe he liked my oolong. He wanted it by the bucket load, but yes, it is a shame what happened to them. But like I said, it is dangerous up there. If you don't know what you're doing, it can be fatal for you. So hopefully other tourists who come here have learnt about them and have learnt not to follow in their footsteps, shall we say.
Hopefully. All right.
And she gives you a big smile.
All right. So nothing comes to mind on what to ask her. So if you want to move to someone else, it's fine.
Yeah, sure. Obviously, you can have a think because you're there for a little bit longer and so on. But yes, back to the two of you back in the basement. So you bring back the barrel. There is a short flight of stairs down.
Look around to see if there's a torch.
Okay, give me a moment. Yes, actually, there are no torches, but there are a few niches on the walls as you go down that do hold candles.
Look for candles.
I mean, there are candles in the niches, although you'd need
Oh.
like a match to light them. But obviously, you'll have those.
No, look for a torch.
Are you talking an electric torch or a torch? Like
No, electric torch. It's a flashlight.
Oh, you don't trust those Baker-like pieces of rubbish? No, use a candle.
You don't see any torches in the immediate vicinity.
Oh, balls. Should have brought one with us. Really don't want to light these candles.
Why?
Because it would be a surefire way of them knowing we'd been here.
A surefire way.
You broke the door lock.
Yeah, true.
It's a burglary at this point. I say, lighting the third candle.
Okay. Yeah, you light them and you start heading down. Quite quickly, you smell decay and the stench of death down here.
See, I told you not to light the candles. They give off a hell of an aroma.
Don't think these are scented candles.
There's the map. Okay. Okay. So when you get down there, it's a fairly small basement as such. There is a single quite thick pillar in the middle, kind of holding everything up, and it's square surrounding it. There appears to be some sort of black statue, kind of on a small altar or shelf of some kind at the far end. There's a couple of other things in here, some more niches for candles. There is some sort of kind of chest to your left as well, like a long, thin chest against the wall.
Raid it.
Okay.
See if it opens
Oh.
easy enough.
Actually, first of all, I'm just going to get like a towel or something, and I'm going to put that over the statue.
Oh, okay.
I don't
That
want
way,
it
if it
watching
comes,
us.
that way, if it comes alive, it's going to be
Okay.
blinded.
Are you wanting to try and not look at it as well, or are you just wanting to?
Mm,
Okay, all right.
yeah, and I don't want it watching us. They're like, there's no looking at each other is what I'm going for here.
Okay. You do vaguely think that it's got like 4 arms, kind of holding maybe like
Nope,
little sabers
nope.
or something. But apart from that, no, over the top.
Yeah, I've seen the Golden Voyage of Sinbad. That never ended well.
It's a good like 4 feet though, so you kind of have to stand on your tiptoes to do that. But yeah, I'll say that you can kind of keep your eyes closed.
Not a
as you try and,
halfling.
No, but it's on like a slightly raised level as well. So
Okay. He said 4 feet, and I'm reaching up. But I'm like, how small
no,
am
but
I?
I know, but the statue's on a raised kind of
Okay.
altar as well, isn't it? So there's that as well. So that.
Right. Okay.
Anyway, so okay, so yeah, so you have a look kind of in the chest. One thing you find is a meat cleaver. It's got a very ornate handle, kind of twisted wood, and there's some sort of symbol that's edged on the blade.
What kind of bloody tea is she making down here?
Well, that explains the decay. I guess Pranit's the next meal.
Do any of you have anthropology?
Oh, I actually don't think I do on this character.
You can roll
Yes, I do.
anthropology. Charles, you can roll me an appraise.
Oh, I can give
I'm
you a
going to spend
praise.
7 luck to pass.
I've passed my appraise.
Okay, give them ticks. Both regulars, yeah?
Yeah.
Regular pass, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
think you tick when you use luck, though, do you?
Oh, no, you're right. Beg your pardon. Okay, cool. So, yeah, you definitely think it's used for some brutal means to hurt somebody or cut something. But in terms of kind of the design, it does definitely look like North Indian to you. That kind of sort of traditional looking thing. There's also a packet of 12 large, you think, incense cones. They're sort of this big each.
There's the scented candles.
Yes. You don't drink the tea you buy here, do you?
Well, not now.
Good.
There's a few more things in here. There's also a kind of a screw top jar about the size of a teacup, which you kind of fish out. It seems to, there's something in there that looks almost like dried fruit peel. I don't know if you want to open it or
No. The human collection of human organs can go back in the chest. Frankly, I don't think we want to keep that.
I do want to. I am going to half-inch this meat cleaver, though.
What, as in take it apart?
No, as in pinch it. It is leaving with me.
Oh, I see. Right, I didn't
Half
actually
inching,
know.
pinching.
Oh, right. Okay. Fine.
Help me out here, Stephen. You've heard the phrase half inch.
Mhm.
Okay, and there's also a robe. Again, you think kind of North Indian tradition. It's yellow. Looks quite ornate. There's sort of gold lining and things in there.
Yeah, nick
And
that
there's
and all.
an old book.
Nick that and all.
What is the title of the book?
You don't know. It appears to be in Indian language of sorts.
The title of the book is It is either something of interest to the cultists or it is something of interest to my bank balance. Either way, it's a book we're going to have.
Right. Where's this smell of decay coming from?
It seems to be lingering a bit further towards the front of the basement, so where this altar is, but definitely by the ground, maybe even under it.
Are there any loose slabs or levers around then?
Not really, no. You can have a look around. As you do so, you also notice there are some manacles attached to the pillar where it's facing the altar. But yeah, you can give me spot hiddens if you like, if you want to kind of properly have a dig around.
Yeah.
Stephen!
Oh, wow, extreme.
Oh, okay. Stephen.
Spot hidden roll. Hold on.
I didn't know you two were into that, Steve.
That's an extreme from me.
Oh my goodness me.
I rolled 3. That'll
I
do
rolled
nicely.
6, so yeah, was also extreme.
Okay, so you have a dig, and the both of you, whether it was down to luck or just because you were like really kind of carefully feeling around and looking, you both uncover human bones.
Okay.
That have been
that's-
very carefully buried in the ground.
We're going to call the police when this is done, I think.
Yes. Given your rather flippant comment regarding the tea,
That wasn't flippant.
well, my rather silly idea of stealing a few bags could actually be counted now as possible evidence. So all the more reason to pinch them.
I'm just not listening to you. So, either we do something with that statue or we don't. I'm electing no. And I'm now slightly terrified as to why did we come in here? Did we need to know any of this? Poor Pranit is alone with her.
Well, what are we going to do with this statue, realistically?
Smash it?
I'm rather tempted to use this big old meat cleaver on it. It seems fitting somehow.
I'm going to check that other room, see if it's less creepy in there.
Be careful. Yeah, I'm gonna have at it with the hatchet. I'm gonna cleave it in twain.
Okay. All 4 feet of it, I suppose. Or
Well, technically all 2 feet of it, because once I get to 2 feet down, it will have been cleft in twain.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just seeing if it specifies what it's made from, or if it just says it's black. Oh, it's black stone.
Well, we won't be using the cleaver then.
No, unless you want to break
Push
the
it off
cleaver.
the plinth, smash it on the floor, maybe.
Black stone
It's
is going to take more than
soil.
a couple of feet down to smash it. You're going to need like a mason's hammer or something to get in at that.
Anyway,
Like Becky said, if you hit it against the side of the altar, hold the legs and.
Oh, we could do that. Yeah.
You're not there.
Sorry.
However, what you can do that if you want, Charles. That's absolutely fine. You can make me a strength roll if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Okay. Perry, as you're sort of tentatively waiting outside, hoping that no other thugs come by and things, it's getting more and more empty in the street now, and actually you're kind of starting to stick out a bit because there's not really anybody else around. You're just sort of sitting there twiddling your thumbs next to a shop in a wheelchair. Because what I'll do, I'll be nice because the three of you are technically in the same area. Can you give me a group luck roll, please?
A group luck roll.
Oh,
I think that might be Perry anyway, but
I'm
Just
on
wanna check.
26.
what's Charles on at the minute?
37.
Okay, so it's just Perry then who needs to make the roll.
And that is a 30. So that's a
that
fail.
pass? It's okay. All right, so I'm just going to switch back to Pranit for a moment. So technically, this is rewinding back a little bit in time.
You mean the survivor?
The survivor. So you kind of finish up your meal with Muskawa, and she kind of like gets up, pays, and so on. Again, she's very happy to pay. She kind of treats you, as it were, and she starts. You think you want her to. Yes, you think that she wants you to walk her back to the shop and her room and things.
What time is it?
It's about, let's say, 8:30. It's dark by now.
Yeah, it's super early though. I suggest we have a little bit of a walk going back, like having a longer route back at the shop, so that she can let me see a little bit more of the
Okay.
Indian quarters, for example.
Yep. Okay. Fine. So you do that. Eventually, though, she does start wanting to kind of get back and things. She says she likes to do some reading before sleeping and so on. And as you kind of get back onto the street and near the shop, you see Perry outside from a distance. And Perry, from where you are, you hear a dull bang coming from inside the shop. Which is going to be Charles smashing the statue.
Can I see Pranit coming?
I'll say yes, you can, because again, streets are fairly empty and things.
Okay, I'll wheel myself down the alleyway, level with the door.
Yep.
And I will sort of like shout in. They're on the way back. Get out.
Yeah, I'll say that Annie is kind of up on the ground floor by this point. The door, bear in mind, is clean off its hinges, so it's just flat on the floor at this point. You hear another bang coming from downstairs.
Charles, time to go. And then I'm just going to knock a load of tea off the shelves as if this was a burglary.
Yeah. What damage have I done to this statue, if any?
You've definitely managed to damage some of the arms because they're a bit they're much smaller. So yeah, I'll say that one of the hands has come off. There's another kind of bit of a scuff mark down its main body. Because you can see it a bit more. It's some sort of deformed figure, maybe like a dwarf of sorts. There are these sort of three large tentacles to take the place of feet. And there are indeed these sort of four arms, or rather now there are three, because you've broken one off, and they each have these sort of Indian sabers on them. And like I said, it's black. So yeah, you definitely damaged it. There's a bit of damage on the altar as well, like from where it's hit.
Yeah, throw it in the corner, just in the hope that actually in throwing it, in the hope of then throwing it when it hits the wall, it might do a bit of a chip on it as well. Do it some extra damage.
Perry and Astor, you hear a third bang come from downstairs.
And I'm now getting out of the.
Right, Charles, can I have a con roll from you? What are the other two of you doing?
Kids,
Well, I just knocked some tea off the
You
shelf.
not, yep. And you get out, okay, Perry?
I'm waiting outside the door. So when they come out of the shop, I'm going to say, "Well, come this way, away from go to the back."
Yeah,
I
okay.
might have to be carried out.
Okay. Have you failed?
Yeah, quite spectacular. Not critically failed, but
Not a fumble. Okay.
not a fumble.
Okay.
But,
So you kind of out of breath from all, like, you have been lifting up a 4-foot statue, sort of. So you're kind of out of breath. You need like another swig to maybe kind of give you a bit of vigor to get back up the stairs. Starting to spin a little bit.
Much. I haven't had a woman like that in years.
So you're still kind of clambering up these stairs. You hear some movement from upstairs and Perry shouting down to get out. Annie, you do manage to get out into the side alleyway.
You need to get away from the front.
Yeah, I mean, the side door is quite far away anyway from the front. So as long as you don't go down towards the front, you're all right.
Yeah.
But Pranit, by this point, you get up to the front door. And you see Tan taking out her keys and so on and start unlocking again.
Oh, come on, Charles.
No sign of Charles.
Wandering myself to the side door as quick as my legs will carry me.
I don't hear any noises coming from inside, do I?
Actually, let's see if you do, given the panic going on. No, you don't.
All right. So I ask her if I'll be free on Sunday. What time could we meet to do a little bit of a country walking?
Oh.
Of course, I won't be free, but just to buy a little bit more time.
Yeah, by a little time. Well, I normally set off around 11 o'clock, maybe a little earlier, depending. I do like to pray beforehand, have a little bit of spiritual time with God, but after that, yes, that'd be very delightful.
Seeing Charles hasn't come out yet, I'm going to run around to the front, point my derringer into Pranit's face and demand his wallet. I'm going to start keeping my back to the woman at the time, sort of, like, to obscure my face with my arm up so like she can't see my face. But basically, yeah, I am mugging Pranit with my little derringer as her keys in the door, hoping that the shock of the situation will buy Charles enough time.
Okay. Can you make me an intimidate roll, Annie?
Do I get a bonus die for the gun?
It's a
very small gun.
If it is against me, I'd say no.
I'm just thinking. I'm gonna say no.
Okay. Well,
I'm not scared of some toy gun.
Well, you know it's me anyway. All right, so here's the reality. Like, I've got base intimidate skill of 15%. I rolled 96.
Hey, a fumble.
Could you please hand over your wallet by chance?
You actually, you actually kind of almost drop your gun as well and everything. And what I'll say with the fumble is you kind of have to catch your gun and then that reveals your face.
Okay. All right.
What on earth is this? What do you...
This could play in our favor. Hopefully she'll find the whole thing hysterical and it'll give me time anyway.
Go away. Take your toy gun elsewhere.
Are you pointing the gun at me or at her?
Yes, at you.
She's still telling you to take it elsewhere.
All right. So, just to play along.
Mr. Planet here would take care of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Just-
I'm heading to the door as fast as my legs
Yeah,
will
yeah.
carry me.
Okay, so what I'll say is you do get out. However, you can either give me a dex roll or a stealth to see how quietly you stumble out, Mr. Barrington-Smythe.
Well, it's going to be a dex roll because it's twice myself. The
Okay,
downside
then.
is that my dex isn't that high. Am I allowed to spend luck?
Yeah, you can spend luck on attributes.
Okay, I'm going to spend 1 point of luck.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like 40 or
To
something.
make that an
ridiculous.
extreme.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, through sheer luck, I guess, you do not stand on any of the squeaky boards. You kind of get your bearings again. You start tiptoeing, and then yes, you do get out.
I rolled 9. I needed 8 for an extreme. It was worth the point of luck.
Yeah, there's no way they would know that you were in there at that point in time. Although you have obviously left a big wreckage downstairs.
I think we've done. I think we've outdone the Keystone Cops, Stevie, completely.
Okay, so Annie, you're still there trying to mug Pranit, I guess.
I'm just playing along. I'm pushing her away, and telling her to piss off,
Okay, well,
pretending I don't know her.
Charles, as much time as I could, and once I realised she saw my face, I'm actually just going to quickly cover it again and turn and run.
Mhm. Okay, any particular direction you go in?
Back towards the hotel, because I was there all along. The
Okay.
one with the guy drunk outside.
Oh, Hampton. Okay.
Yeah.
And when Charles comes out the door, I'll lead him away from the front.
No. I'll push. You point. I'll push.
You in any condition to push? You drunk in charge of a wheelchair?
So yeah, you're doing that. Pranit, Tan just rolls her eyes and says, "What a very peculiar English woman." And as she opens up the padlock, she actually, without you kind of realizing it, just happens quite quickly. She stands up on her tiptoes and just gives you a little peck on the cheek, and then says, "I will see you Sunday." Yes.
Hopefully.
What do you think
Good
that
night-
some
good
strange
night,
woman
then.
is going to shoot you? Not a chance. That gun didn't look particularly sturdy at all.
Nah.
In fact, it might have been a fake.
No, that was just a toy, probably.
Exactly.
Have a good night of sleep then.
Thank you, and you, my friend. And she slowly shuts the door.
All right. I'm going all away from the place.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's a good time to end as you kind of shove Perry down the alleyway out the other way.
Just throwing him.
And she
Yes.
doesn't
All right.
Well, that could have gone horribly wrong for you lot.
It could have done.
Kind of did. I'm hoping she only saw the briefest flash of my face and not enough to kind of, describe it to the police.
That was the only really bad roll I've made all night.
Yeah, you actually rolled really well overall.
I think
My
Ronnie has
rolling
just
was mostly
indirectly
terrible.
killed me.
Well, you can't
I'll have
blame
the
him
cult.
this time.
I'll have the cult and the police after me.
All right.
Yeah, that was intense coming the end of that. That was
Good,
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But wow.
Yes, well, we'll see what happens next time. But yeah, thanks for that, everybody. That was lovely.
That was
And
really good.
Thank you for
Enjoyed it.
gaming us as always.
That's all right. Thank you to the plethora of people watching as well.
Yeah, a lot today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We will see you next week for Masks Monday, and Thursday, of course, the Becky Prize Fighter, and a new After Forever After campaign beginning with all 4 of us on Saturday.
Yes.
Yeah, so the
one.
prize fighter isn't on this channel, incidentally. We always sort of promote
Yes.
it, but it's not on this channel. It's on the
I
Twitch
keep forgetting,
stream,
sorry.
the link for which is nowhere to be found.
Well, it's twitch.tv. Is it twitch.com now or twitch.tv?
Twitch.tv/prizefightertv
Ah,
on Thursday at 8 p.m. UK time.
there you go. And cool. So we will see you at one or all, preferably all, of those things. But until then, bye-bye.
Night night.
Bye bye.
Right.
Night.